A video just went viral of some of the smartest kids on the planet. Students who just cracked the hardest engineering exams in the world. But when the cameras asked to see their phones, they didn't pull out the new iPhone 17 or a $2,000 folding screen.
They pulled out a $20 Nokia, a dumb phone, no apps, no TikTok, no maps. In 2026, while we're all drowning in AI integrated everything, the world's highest achievers are doing something radical. They're opting out.
We used to think the smartphone was a tool for the elite, but look around. Today, the smartphone is the digital pacifier for the masses, while the new status symbol, the real flex for the 1%, is being unreachable. Is your Pro Maxes actually making you an amateur? Is the algorithm literally stealing your IQ points? And if I offered you a 20% raise right now, but you had to trade your touchscreen for a keypad for 1 year, could you actually survive?
Today, we're talking about the rise of the focus phone, the death of the attention economy, and why boring tech is the most dangerous competitive advantage you can have. Let's dive in.
Jay, that's such a powerful intro. I mean, it immediately hit me where it hurts, you know? That hypothetical 20% raise, I had to genuinely pause and think if I could actually do it. It's scary.
Right? And that's exactly the point. We've become so reliant, so intertwined with these devices, that the thought of stepping away feels like losing a limb. But what if that limb was actually holding us back?
It's fascinating, this idea of the digital divide flipping. I remember in the early 2000s, it was all about access, who had the internet, who didn't. And now it's almost the inverse. The truly rich aren't just financially rich, but attention rich, and they're achieving that by going analog.
Exactly. In the 2000s, the digital divide meant the poor had no internet. In 2026, the divide is flipped. The working class is addicted to the algorithm, while the elite are analog. I mean, if you're still scrolling TikTok for 3 hours a day, you're essentially a digital peasant. High performers have realized that uninterrupted focus is the rarest, most expensive resource on earth. If you can't put the phone down, you're not a consumer, you're the product being farmed.
Oof, digital peasant. That's a strong visual, Jay, but it resonates. We talk so much about time is money, but what about attention is money? What about focus is the ultimate currency? It's not just about what you're doing with your phone, but what your phone is doing to you.
And that leads us to the willpower is a lie argument. Because most people, when you bring this up, they'll say, "Oh, I use my smartphone responsibly. I'm in control." But are they really? You cannot win a fight against $1 trillion AI engineered by thousands of engineers whose sole job is to keep you looking at that screen.
I've felt that struggle myself. I'll pick up my phone intending to check one thing, and the next thing I know, 20 minutes have gone by, and I've watched three random cat videos and forgotten what I even picked it up for in the first place. It's insidious.
It is insidious. And that's why I say having an iPhone and trying to be productive is like trying to study in the middle of a casino. You think you're in control, you aren't. Unless you physically remove the capability for distraction, by switching to a focus phone, you have already lost the battle. Moderate smartphone use is a myth.
That's a bold statement, Jay. Moderate smartphone use is a myth. I think a lot of people might push back on that, myself included at first. But when you frame it like being in a casino, you're absolutely right. Even if you're just sitting at the bar, not gambling, the environment is designed to pull you in. The flashing lights, the sounds, the energy, it's all part of the lure.
Exactly. It's not about your personal discipline when the entire ecosystem is built to break that discipline down. And we're seeing this play out in the real world. You know that 99th percentile fact? Viral reports from competitive exam toppers, like India's JEE, some of the hardest engineering exams in the world, show that the highest ranking students almost exclusively use keypad phones. These aren't just anecdotes anymore, it's a pattern among the truly elite performers.
That's an incredibly compelling piece of data, because those are the individuals who need absolute laser-like focus to succeed. They're not just trying to get by, they're trying to excel at the highest level. And if they're making that choice, it really makes you wonder about the rest of us just casually scrolling through our lives.
It means they understand the cost. They understand that every notification, every urge to just check something, is a tiny tax on their cognitive function, on their ability to think deeply and retain information. They've optimized their environment for peak performance, and for them, that means a phone that does one thing: make calls, maybe text.
And this isn't just about students, right? Imagine what that kind of uninterrupted focus could do for anyone's work, creative projects, or even just personal reflection. We're constantly bombarded. It's like our brains never get a moment to just process.
Precisely. Let's hit them with another stat. The average adult in 2026 still spends over 5 hours a day on their phone. Think about that. 5 hours a day. That is nearly 1,800 hours a year. I mean, what could you build with 1,800 extra hours? A business, learn a new language, write a book, get in incredible shape. The possibilities are endless, but they're being siphoned away, minute by minute, by the glow of a screen.
1,800 hours. That's a staggering amount of time. And it makes me think about the difference between passive consumption and active creation. When we're on our phones for those 5 hours, how much of that is actively engaging our brains in a meaningful way versus just passively scrolling or reacting? My guess is very little.
Exactly. It's not creation, it's consumption. And often, it's consumption of content that actively lowers your cognitive load, that numbs you. It's the digital equivalent of eating junk food for every meal. Sure, it fills you up, but you're getting no nutritional value. And in fact, it's probably making you feel worse in the long run.
Okay, Jay, I'm with you on the benefits of focus and the dangers of constant distraction. But I have to bring up the counter argument, the social death aspect. Because, let's be honest, switching to a focus phone isn't just about your personal productivity. It's an act of social sabotage that makes you a burden on everyone else.
Ah, the pushback. Knew it was coming. Go on.
I mean, we live in a QR code, Uber driven, group chat world. If you switch to a flip phone, you aren't reclaiming your life. You're just forcing your friends to do the work for you. You're the person who can't split the bill with an app, can't find the restaurant because you don't have maps, and misses the emergency update in the group chat. It's not minimalism, it's digital narcissism. You're essentially saying your focus is more important than the convenience or even the safety of your social circle.
That's a fair point, Betsy. And it's definitely the biggest hurdle for a lot of people. There's a social friction that comes with it. But let's break that down. Is it really narcissism, or is it setting boundaries? Are your friends truly burdened if they have to text you an address instead of sending a pin, or is it just a slight inconvenience that they've been conditioned out of experiencing?
But it's not just a slight inconvenience anymore, is it? We rely on these apps for so much now. Meeting up for dinner? Just share your location. Getting home safe? I'll Uber it. Splitting the tab? Venmo me. If you can't participate in those basic modern social transactions, you're either isolating yourself or making someone else pick up your slack. It feels like you're outsourcing your digital responsibilities to others.
And I hear that. I really do. But consider this: how much of that convenience is actually necessity, and how much is just laziness? Before smartphones, we figured out how to meet up, share costs, and navigate. We called people. We wrote down addresses. We had a little more forethought. And maybe, just maybe, forcing ourselves back into those habits could actually foster more genuine interaction, less reliance on a glowing rectangle to mediate every social exchange.
You're saying it could actually improve social interactions by forcing us to be more present and intentional? That's a really interesting flip. So instead of being antisocial, it's actually pro social in a different, deeper way?
Exactly. Think about it. When everyone is glued to their phones at a dinner table, are you truly connecting, or are you just sharing a physical space while your minds are scattered across a dozen different apps? With a focus phone, you're signaling, my attention is here, with you in this moment. That's not digital narcissism. That's presence. That's respect.
Okay, I can see the argument there. It forces a different kind of intentionality. But what about genuine emergencies? Missing a critical group chat update about a sick relative, or a last-minute change to a travel plan. Those feel like real downsides that a dumb phone can't easily mitigate.
Those are valid concerns for sure. And I'm not saying it's a perfect solution for everyone or that there are no trade offs. It's about weighing the costs and benefits for your life. For some, the cost of constant distraction, the intellectual erosion, outweighs the potential social friction. For others, particularly those in roles that demand constant connectivity, it might be harder. But even then, there are workarounds. A dedicated work phone, or designating specific times to check group chats on a tablet. It's not an all or nothing proposition.
So, it's about being deliberate. It's not just about throwing away your smartphone, but consciously designing your digital environment to serve your goals, rather than letting it control you. And for some, that might mean a complete switch, while for others, it might be strategic limitations or designated off times.
Precisely. The digital monk isn't necessarily someone living in a cave with no tech. It's someone who has mastered their technology, rather than being enslaved by it. They use it as a tool, not as a master. They understand that their attention, their focus, their deep thinking is their most valuable asset, and they're willing to make choices to protect it. And frankly, those choices are becoming a huge competitive advantage in a world starved for focus.
It really does feel like a competitive advantage. Imagine being the person in the room who can actually hold a thought for longer than 30 seconds, who can delve into complex problems without feeling the urge to swipe. That's a superpower in 2026.
It absolutely is. And the stats from those high achieving students back that up. They're not getting ahead because they're smarter. They're getting ahead because they've intentionally removed the biggest obstacle to accessing their intelligence. They've opted out of the attention economy, and in doing so, they've claimed their freedom.
So, for our listeners, the challenge isn't necessarily to go buy a Nokia tomorrow, though some might be inspired to. It's to really look at their phone usage, to acknowledge that the willpower is a lie argument probably holds more truth than they want to admit, and to ask themselves, genuinely, what they could build with those 1,800 hours a year they're currently giving away.
Exactly right, Betsy. It's a wake up call because the world is getting louder, more distracting, more algorithmically engineered to pull you in. And the people who are winning, who are innovating, who are truly thriving, are the ones who are quietly, deliberately turning down the noise. They're choosing boring tech for extraordinary focus. It's the ultimate hack.
And that's a powerful thought to leave everyone with. Your attention is your most valuable asset. What are you doing to protect it? Thanks so much, Jay, for this incredibly thought provoking discussion. It's given me a lot to consider.
My pleasure, Betsy. And to all our listeners, take a moment, put the phone down, and just think, what could you accomplish if you weren't constantly tethered? You might be surprised.